to Dalma Makes. In this video, I transformed a small jigsaw puzzle into a light-up shadow box. This idea all started when I noticed that the jigsaw puzzle I got as a present is actually quite translucent. It was printed on some kind of clear plastic, and it was letting the light shine through quite beautifully, and it made me think of a stained glass window. And I like the playful juxtaposition of a cartoon elevated to the style of a vitralium. And to be fair, the Studio Ghibli movies are masterpieces, one and each, and Kiki's Delivery Service is one of the most charming, wholesome, adorable films ever made. I got this jigsaw puzzle as a present, and I decided one of the best way to honor it is to frame it somehow. And as I mentioned, the translucency made me think LEDs. So I took some battery operated string LEDs and kind of scrunched them up in an arch. After playing around a little bit, I discovered that actually, yeah, this could work. I just needed to figure out exactly how. First, to stabilize the puzzle itself, I just used some strips of transparent sticky tape on the back, and then I had to figure out how to frame it. I decided to use some highly compressed cardboard for the base and foam board for the rest of the structure, as it is light but rigid. And the early steps are measuring exactly how big of a hole I want in the middle of the frame. I want it to be almost as big as the puzzle, but with a little bit of a lip so that it has something to rest against. And I'm just carefully cutting everything out with a sharp blade. Of course, I need to make sure that the on and off button for the LEDs is on the edge. So I figured out how to frame it to leave exactly enough room for it. As I was working with it, I realized that cardboard background was just a little bit too dark, as in some places the puzzle is completely transparent. So I decided to just roughly color a piece of clean cardstock for the background. That way there's gonna be this warm yellow hue in the background behind the lights. My LED string light is battery operated, and I kind of scrunched it up in an arch shape and also strategically taped down some parts of it to fall exactly where I wanted them. To unite the puzzle with the frame, I'm just going to attach everything with hot glue. And I'm being quite generous, but keeping to the edges. I don't want any of those glue globs to translate to the front. For the edges, I cut out some foam board strips, and I'm gluing them down on the edge at the same height as the battery pack. This is going to create the depth of the box, and there will be enough room for the string lights in there. And of course, closing off the box with the cardboard backing. Now, to actually make an aesthetically pleasing frame, I'm going to use this jute ribbon all around. It has an interesting pattern, and I think once painted over, it could look like it's a carved frame. To glue the ribbon down, I'm using some gel matte medium and putting quite a generous amount under and right over it as well. I want to fully saturate the fibers of the jute so that there will be no more flyaways and zero movement once everything is fully dry. I wanted to neaten up the edges even further, so I added a second strip of foam board, something thinner, and I'm just folding over the rest of the jute ribbon from the front to finish the edges. I'm trying to make it as neat as possible, but also it's not going to be super visible from the side. I think with this method I got a pretty solid frame. I wanted to use a nice neutral color for the frame. Obviously I want the image to stand out, so I'm just going to paint everything in a dark brown first. I'm being quite careful not to go over any of the jigsaw pieces, and also making sure that I saturate everything really well. I want the paint to go into all the recesses. Once that paint is dried, I'm going to use a much lighter brown and just my finger to highlight the shapes in the frame. And I think this is what makes it look like maybe it was carved. I didn't want to add other colors than brown. I want the image to be the star. But just as a finishing touch, I'm still going to use a little bit of gold paint, as it will make it look metallic and it will blend in with all the other decor around my house. I think this can be a good method for displaying some of your smaller jigsaw puzzles. To be honest, as much as I enjoyed putting it together that one time, if I put it back in the box, it would probably just go into storage and be forgotten about. This way, I got the enjoyment of putting the puzzle together, but it's also on display and it will be, in a more evident way, part of my life. I love Studio Ghibli, and this was a really cute addition to my home decor. Let me know what you think about this project. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you'd like to see more projects from me in the future, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a nice day. Bye!